Well, hi everyone. I am Dr. Christine Anderson, chiropractor amongst many other things. But the biggest thing is to get people to understand that they can take charge of their health. And especially in this day and age, it is so important to take care of our gut health. So I have with me here Carolina Teasdale, and she is going to help explain how you can do that simply, easily, and affordably with premium and pure products, hence the name of Purium. And I have been using these products now for a few months, I think since October. And they really are amazing. And I've looked more into this company and quality food at a great price, minimal processing, and that processing is done to keep all of the nutrient value and also not add more toxins to the mix because that is the other side of the equation. So we're gonna dive right on in. I'm gonna introduce Carolina, and she's going to explain to you, and I'll probably interject a couple of times, on how you can help support your gut health using these products. So take it away, Carolina.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anderson, for having me. I love to talk about gut health because I believe that our happiness starts in our gut because over 80% of our serotonin gets made in the gut, and serotonin is what allows us to feel happiness. And as we know, antidepressants is one of the most prescribed medications in this country. And by the time someone is 50, they are in at least one pharmaceutical. So I'm very, very passionate about this. And can you give me 1 second? Because my husband is walking in the door and he's making a little bit of noise. Give me 1 second.
All right, I guess it's going to be back on me then. So just a little bit about gut
I'm
health.
back.
Oh, okay.
Great, great. I just wanted to close the door.
Oh, all right. No problem.
Awesome. Yes, as I was mentioning, gut health is something that we must pay attention because a lot of us are experiencing bloating, inflammation, food sensitivities, chronic fatigue, hormonal disbalances, autoimmune issues are on the rise. I talk to so many people on a weekly basis that are struggling with Lyme's, Hashimoto's, Graves, fibromyalgia, diabetics, autism, and it all starts with our gut health because the moment that we start to rebuild the gut microbiome and lower inflammation rates, our body starts to come back into its normal way of being. And I heard it before from many other chiropractors that they say that the best physicians are inside of us. And gut health is it's our immunity, it's our happiness, it's our second brain. In my opinion, it's the first brain because there's more neurotransmitters in our gut than in our brain. And it has been scientifically proven that the foods that we eat are directly related to the thoughts that we have. So if we want to start transforming how we feel, we must pay attention to our gut health. And I'm so excited to talk about this incredible transformation that Dr. Anderson loves as well as I do. I have thousands of people on this program, and as you mentioned, Christine, it's affordable, it's convenient, and it's so easy to follow through. And I want to take a step back and talk a little bit about our food supply. You know, corporate America is overfeeding us, malnourishing us. We are eating foods that are very low in nutrition. Our foods are only as nutritious as the soils they're grown on, and most of our food is grown on chemical treated soils that don't have much nutrients. One of the naturopathic doctors that I work with, she told me that when she was born, a cup of spinach used to have 1,200 milligrams of iron. And today, a cup of spinach only has 2 milligrams of iron. So that means that all of us would have to eat 600 cups of spinach to have the nutritional value that is designed by nature. And that applies to most of our foods at the grocery store. They don't have the nutrients as foods used to have 100 years ago. And unfortunately, we're not getting that from our food. And because we're also exposing our bodies to over 80,000 chemicals on a daily basis, from makeup, perfume, laundry detergent, lotion, anything we put on our body, we put in our body. There's chemtrails, they're spraying their soils. I mean, there's microparticles of plastics, binders, fillers, excipients, additives, synthetic ingredients, synthetic colorings. This stuff that's in our food is not designed to be digested by our intestines. And we either buy food that's filtered or we become the filter. And the average person eats about 5 grams of microparticles of plastic per week. There was an article in the LA Times a couple weeks ago that says that they found microparticles of plastics in babies' tissues. So our plastics are everywhere. They're in the placenta, they're in our brain, they're all over our body, and no wonders all of us are experiencing high levels of inflammation, depression, anxiety, bloating, sensitivities to foods that we used to eat when we were children, when our food wasn't as toxic. And as we get older, our detoxifying pathways slow down, so our bodies don't have the capacity to detoxify us as they used to. And our food is just as toxic, or actually it might be getting worse, because I keep on finding about appeal. Have you heard of appeal right now?
Oh yes, absolutely. And just to add too, because sometimes people might not understand what happens when you have that inflammation in the gut, is there's these little finger projections called villi in the gut, and they're necessary to help absorb our nutrients on our food. And number one, if you're not breaking down your food because you don't have the right enzymes, you're going to have big particles. Those won't get digested. And if you have inflammation, you're going to ruin all of these microvilli so that they kind of get washed away, and therefore too many large particles are getting into our system, creating more allergic responses, creating more inflammation, creating more dysbiosis, where you have an imbalance of the good bacteria in the gut. And once that happens, then you start having the laundry list of symptoms and problems that go on. And I tell people, until you heal your gut, everything else you do, you can be taking all the supplements in the world, you think you can be eating clean and organic, but until you heal your gut, it's going to be impossible for any of those other issues to go away. So this is where it really all begins.
I agree with you 100%. Most disease is linked to inflammation, high levels of toxicity, parasites, bacteria, yeast, or mold. They're the roots of most of our issues. And that starts with our gut health. And unfortunately, we all been exposed to heavy metals and glyphosate. I like to share very simply. Do you guys know when you go to the grocery store and there's the conventional side where everything is cheaper, and then there's the expensive organic side? I remember when the pandemic started, Christine, I went to the grocery store and I saw everything that was organic was full. The bananas, apples, and everything that was conventional was gone. And people were fighting for the conventional apples. And inside of my head, I was like, wow, but everything that's conventional is being sprayed with heavy metals and chemicals. And unfortunately, a lot of people and a lot of us don't know. I didn't know that when I was in college. I had no idea that conventional foods were sprayed with all these chemicals. I just knew that they were cheaper, and that's what I could afford. So it's very important that we cleanse from glyphosate, we cleanse from heavy metals, we raise the alkalinity of our body, we lower the inflammation rates and the acidity. And what we do in the program is that we focus in nourishing to a cellular level with superfoods. Superfoods are those foods that are very high in nutrition and low on calories, because we believe that the key to longevity is to have a diet that is functional, to have lots and lots of nutrients, to lower our amount of calories, to detoxify, and also repair the damage that we put in our body, because stress, chemicals, plastics, synthetic ingredients, all that stuff is in our food, does create a lot of damage to our tissues, and it creates high levels of stress. So in this program, I'm gonna break it down And I also want to let you know that we are a purist company. So we are higher tiers of organic. We don't trust organic much because there's organic farms located next to non-organic farms. The organic farms are spraying their chemicals. It's going in the runoff. There's water. There's in the air. The chemicals are going everywhere, and they're putting the organic certified organic sticker. So our company is actually, we have farms at high altitude. Our farms are incredible because it used to be a lot of volcanic activity where we have our farms. They are in Utah, and there was a lake. The lake dried because the volcano erupted, and with time the lake dehydrated, and we bought the land, and we found that there's about 70 feet of volcanic ashes on our soils and about 200 feet of topsoil, top living soil. I love that we use regenerative agriculture practices, so we don't till the soil. We use animals. We rotate the crops. We have natural spring water on site, and our soils have never once been exposed to chemicals. That to me is super important because there's very few farms out there that never got exposed to chemicals, and then they use regenerative farming. Regenerative farming, it's very, very expensive because it is the best way to farm, and it takes a lot of work and effort, and it takes animals, and it takes loving the earth and rotating the crops, and it takes care of the nitrogen, the fungi, the bacteria, everything that's in our soils that keep the earth healthy. And that means a lot to me. I used to be the girls going to the farmer's market 3 times a week, talking to the farmers, asking the farmers what kind of seed they're using, what kind of water are they using, because I didn't want to buy organic apples with fluoride water, because we know fluoride retains aluminum in our brain, and I mean it's so many problems that are related to fluoride. And I was that health nut, just asking all these questions. And when I was introduced to this company, I just asked myself, why is this better than me juicing and spending $500 to $600 per week in fruits? Because I don't know, in California it's really expensive. Every time I went to the farmers market.
Let me add to that too. Okay, to make juice, you need a lot of apples.
Yes.
And so when you have chemicals or heavy metals and you juice, so if that's in your product, even if it's organic, if it has come in contact, it's been contaminated in some other way, you're going to be concentrating all of those things.
Yes.
And that is what really kind of brought me to Purium, is because I was looking for powdered juices that weren't going to be full of heavy metals, that weren't going to be full of contaminants. So it's so important. But I think everybody gets the picture. So why don't we dive in, Carolina?
Yes. So I'm going to go over the ultimate lifestyle transformation. This is not a diet, and it's not about deprivation, so you can still eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You only going to add this to your diet, okay? And it comes on a big box. I have it right here, and this box contains 5 different superfoods. And what we do is that we take them in the morning, and then we take them again in the evening. The first thing that we take is the power shake. This is our source of greens. This is wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is extremely high in nutrition. It has spirulina. Spirulina is nature's multivitamin. It's an excellent source of protein. It has sprouts. I go to the farmer's market, and I'm friends with Microgreen Mama. She's been growing sprouts for like 40 years, and she tells me that sprouts have over 40 times more nutrition than a full-grown plant. So sprouts are very, very good for our body. It has fiber, it has chia seeds, it has omegas. So it's all the good stuff in one simple formula that's dehydrated at 78 degrees. So just like juicing, you juice it and you have those enzymes that regenerate their body and the nutrition. This stuff is raw and organic. So it is considered raw because of the dehydration method. We dehydrate with fans. We don't dehydrate with heat. And most companies dehydrate with heat within 150 to 250 degrees. And that is very hot. So it burns the nutrition and it destroys the enzymes. So this is raw and leaving. It tastes like apple berry. You're going to love it. This is going to make you feel satiated. It's going to give you all those essential nutrients. And it's going to bring lots of chlorophyll into your body that is going to help you raise your pH levels. So acidity and inflammation will start to decrease. It also helps with reducing cravings. My dad actually started taking it after 5 years. I've been very, very committed to getting my dad to drink this, but he's been a smoker all his life. He's like, I'm not going to have that green juice. And finally, 5 years later, he decided to try this, and he lost 6 pounds in his first week by just adding the power shake. And he called me the other day, and he's like, what are some of the results or symptoms of drinking the power shake? And I'm like, well, you're going to feel less hungry. You're going to feel more satiated. You're going to have less sugar cravings, and you're going to drop a little inflammation. And he's like, all those things are happening to me. I dropped 6 pounds, and I'm at the grocery store, and I don't want to shop for the cookies that I used to shop before. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing.
That's what happens when you actually feed your body dense nutrition, because it seeks out the cookies when it's looking for vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And
Exactly.
I know that that's the standard apple berry protein for the ultimate lifestyle transformation, but I do want people to know that you do have options.
Yes. So
Because some people don't want a flavor, or they don't want the stevia. So there is a natural flavor, unsweetened. So if you want, you can sweeten it yourself using a natural sweetener. Don't use sugar, for goodness sakes. But or if you want to use fruit to sweeten it.
yeah.
And also, if you want a grain-free option, there's grain-free options as well. So I just want people to know that when you are doing your ultimate lifestyle transformation, you do have options customizable to your needs. It's not, there's a basis to it, but it's not a one-size-fits-all program. And so this is where it comes in. If you are interested, or when you are interested in getting your program, contact me or Carolina or both of us, and we will help get you what is going to work for you.
Yes, correct. Yes, I like the unflavored, and I think that it's delicious when you put frozen bananas and berries and mangoes. It's amazing. So
yeah,
like
everybody has different a palate taste.
Yeah.
I know in my practice, more people were wanting to have the unsweetened. So
Yeah.
everybody, is going to have different tastes. And you
Exactly.
can get one of each if you want to
Yeah.
try both of them. So it really is flexible. What's the
Exactly.
next product
The
in
next
this?
one is the Biomedic. This is a medically proven solution to remove glyphosate from our body up to 74.5% within 6 weeks. Glyphosate is a toxic herbicide that's being sprayed in all the conventional foods. And as you mentioned, it sits on top of the cells and it prevents the cells from absorbing the nutrition. So once we start to remove glyphosate, our body starts to absorb, we start to feel more energy, we start to rebuild our gut microbiome, and we just start feeling overall better because inflammation rate is medically proven to reduce by 75% within 6 weeks. We have our pre-trial medical studies, the C-reactive protein dropped by 75%. And there's also a 35% increase in intestinal immunity. So that means that it increases our immune system because we're rebuilding the gut bacteria. And it's amazing.
I did read that study, and it's at least 75%. That was for the people who weren't taking it
Yes.
as recommended. They were just doing like one a day. And for
And
those people,
they were not having a fully organic diet. They were
right,
still eating conventional.
correct. So it could be more than 75%. It could be, I read, close to 100% if you do take it as recommended, eat organically, and have a clean environment. And
Correct.
this was a bonus product for me because that's not what I was looking for, but I was absolutely astounded when I did read that study. And it's, as far as I know, it's the only product that's been clinically proven to remove glyphosate, which
Yes.
is in every single person, whether you have organic or not, you are going to be contaminated with glyphosate. And
Yes. It's,
I'm sure you know Stephanie Senek. I believe her last name is Senek. Dr. Stephanie Senek. She wrote a book on glyphosate and how damaging it is to our systems, our guts, our brains. Um, which, if you have inflammation in one, by the way, if you have a gut full of inflammation, you have a brain full of inflammation. So that the two really go together. All right,
exactly.
what's the next product? I'm excited.
The next one is
Oh,
Super Amino 23s. And this is actually one of my favorite products as well because I like to work out and I like to build muscle and collagen. And this formula, it's plant-based. It's 100% plant-based. And it has 8 of essential amino acids. And amino acids help our body build muscle, build collagen, repair damaged tissue in our body. And it's 0 calories. This protein was created because the scientists work with cancer patients that had stomach cancer and they had their stomachs removed, so they couldn't eat, they couldn't digest anything, and they were in a coma, so they were muscle wasting. So this protein is used at all hospitals. It's been in the physician's desk manual for many years, and it's injected into the IV, and patients are able to build muscle without working out. So it is a game changer. We have it in a tablet format, and it's my secret for my muscles. People tell me, how did you get fit so fast? And I'm like, I just take my amino acids. And it's really good because since it's pre-digested and it doesn't go through the whole digestion process, it gives our gut a little break from having to digest proteins, because chicken, beef, it's very hard on our gut. It takes a lot of energy. It creates a lot of inflammation, a lot of uric acid. It takes up to 76 hours to be digested. This goes into our muscles in 23 minutes. So
yeah.
it is
I
amazing.
when I found that out, that I listened to a talk given by the founder of Purium, talking about this formulation, and I was like, this is incredible. Same as you, I also train, and so anything that's going to help the muscular system. Unfortunately, as we get older, people tend to something called sarcopenia. That means muscle wasting. Even if you have the same diet as you used to have, for whatever reason, that muscle atrophy it can be real.
Yeah.
And so it's so important. I mean, younger people too, athletes, but especially as we get older and we want to keep that muscle tone. But the availability of those amino acids in 23 minutes is key, because if you already have a compromised gut, guess what? You're not going to be digesting your meat, which means you'd have to take the meat, break it down into amino acids, have that available to actually be absorbed into your gut, to reuse, to build the muscle. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, and it's going to be not so efficient when you have inflammation in your gut. Enough
Exactly.
said.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
what I love, and one more thing, this is great for skin elasticity. So we work with a lot of people that drop a lot of weight and they rebuild their skin elasticity with this. So
That's
it's a
great.
good thing to have.
Also,
Then,
anything to do, anything to keep the skin nice and
yeah,
supple.
right. Yeah. And then for 10 days, we take the Super Cleanser. This is a parasite cleanse. It's also a colon cleanser. So it helps us remove the toxic waste that's sitting in the colon. Most people have 5 to 20 pounds of toxic waste. It's fecal matter that's just impacted. It's just sitting there for a long, long time. And it creates the perfect environment for parasites, bacteria, yeast. I mean, there's so many diseases that start in the colon. And the statistics say that 1 every 23 Americans will be diagnosed with colon cancer today, because we're not drinking good water, we're not eating our fruits, our vegetables, we're not having that fiber that helps us move our bowels. So this will help us eliminate those parasites. I see so many crazy pictures of people that do this, and parasites, they don't come out in the first round, they do it multiple rounds, but it is really beautiful to see how the skin clears up. They have more energy. The food deficient, the vitamins and the nutrient deficiencies also get better when we remove parasites from the body. And it's very gentle. Okay, so it's really good. Every time I eat at a restaurant, if I start feeling gassy or start burping a lot, I'm getting on the super cleanser, and I just do 10 days and I feel amazing.
Most people don't realize that they have parasites. It's very common, it's very prevalent, and we think because we live in the Western world, we are immune to it, and we're not. And there's a lot of theories, like cancer is really from parasites. I don't think it's the only thing. I do think it can be a contributing factor, a large one. And yes, you may have symptoms like bloating and gas and that type of thing, but you don't necessarily have to have those. Parasites can tuck themselves away in multiple different types of places. They like to grab on and not let go, so a lot of times testing is imperfect. I just recommend doing a cleanse. When you get started, you can do it a little bit closer together, and then with the seasonal changes, it's a good idea to do what we're talking about for at least for 10 days with the season changes. Yeah.
Definitely. It's incredible. I love it. And it's not only for parasites, it's antibacterial, antiviral, like all the ingredients have incredible properties. So it helps with everything, even candida and other issues that people experience. And it's really, really good. Then before we go to bed, we take 2 tablespoons of sour char cherries. Look how dark this bottle is. And it's a clear bottle. So this is 100% sour char cherries, no additives, no fillers. I actually went to Erewhon, it's a health store that's here in LA, and I looked at their apothecary, and they actually add filtered water. So I don't even know how much cherry there's in there. Maybe it's 50-50, we don't know, but and that's a store that I really trust here. So this is 100% apothecary. Sour char cherries is the only superfruit found in nature to have natural occurring melatonin. So we take it 30 minutes before going to bed because it helps our body get ready to sleep. And all of us need to get that REM sleep, because it's only in that REM sleep that the body's regenerating, it's releasing stem cells, it's detoxifying, and it's the beauty sleep for a reason, right? Our body rebuilds when we're sleeping. And unfortunately, we're exposed to blue light in our phones before going to bed, watching TV. We have the Wi-Fi routers. There's so much that is happening to our bodies that can't produce that melatonin. I have a lady, she's 80 years old, and she was taking melatonin supplements for 20 years, and she hadn't had a dream in 20 years. Imagine what it is not to dream for 20 years. And within 1 week, and I actually have her testimonial recorded because it was so epic, 1 week on this, she was sleeping better than ever. She started dreaming again, and she just felt great getting out of melatonin supplements, which they're very harsh on the body. They shrink our pineal gland. There's so many side effects of taking synthetic melatonin. And the other thing that I love about apothecary is that 2 tablespoons of this has a 10,000 ORAC value, which is how we measure antioxidants. So 2 tablespoons has as many antioxidants as eating 6 cups of blueberries. And 2 tablespoons is equivalent to eating 30 sour char cherries. So super concentrated. And for those of us that don't eat much fruit, this is nutrition insurance, because it gives our body all those antioxidants that help us with vitality. If we're not eating antioxidants, if we're not eating fruits and vegetables that are full of antioxidants, we're in an oxidizing diet. And what happens to things that oxidize? Stress oxidizes. There's foods that help us get better, and this is incredible. And it's been proven that lowers uric acid. okay, or lowers inflammation as well. So that's the program. What you guys do is that you take these three things twice a day, okay, in the morning, in the afternoon. You also get this cute little blender that you put in your powder, and you can blend it all together. If you don't like taking the tablets, you can put it all in the blender and just mix it all together. And then before you go to bed, you take your sartar cherry. And only for 10 days, we do the super cleanser. Now, the investment in the products is my favorite part because it's cheaper than McDonald's. It's actually cheaper than Starbucks. You know, my friend went to Starbucks and she said, "What does the average person orders?" And the guy said, "Well, the average person orders a cheese sandwich and a latte every single morning for $13.50. I live in front of In-N-Out, a restaurant, a fast food restaurant. In-N-Out closes at 1:30 in the morning, and there's at least 50 cars all day long. And I'm just mind blown how many people want to spend hundreds of dollars every day eating at these places that have no nutrition. This program, the first month, is $12 a day because it includes the little blender and the parasite herbs, and it gets delivered right to your door from organic farms. And the second and third month, because most of our customers do this for 90 days. 90 days is a good start to build a habit and to allow your body to detoxify and repair. And 90 days is a recommendation. You don't have to do it for 90 days. You can do it for a month, for 2 months. We have most people do this for 6 months and more because they have other issues like chronic aches and pains and autoimmune issues. I've been doing this for 5 years, twice a day. But the second and third month is $11 a day, which comes to $329 with free shipping. And what most people do after, it's called the Daily Core 4. It's a maintenance program, and it comes with these 4 products: the Power Shake, the Cherry, the Aminos, and the Biometric, because you don't need to be cleansing from parasites every single month. So these are our core 4 products. And the maintenance program, what you do is that you take it once a day instead of twice a day. So in the morning, you wake up, you have your shake, your aminos, your cherry before bed. And then you do that as long as you like, and that is $6 daily. We also have other packs that we don't have time to talk today, but we have fruit and veggie pack, which is $3 a day. We have a fitness pack for those that love to do fitness, that want extra support, like a pre-workout and extra aminos, a chocolate and vanilla protein, a hydration drink. That one is $20 a day, and we have most of our athletes on that pack. We have a collagen pack, an immune pack, so whatever, Dr. Anderson will help you pick the right pack for your needs.
Carolina, I also just want to add a couple of things I would add to the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation to help support the gut. And number one would be, I don't know if you can see that, is the aloe. This one's the aloe digest. There's also a liquid aloe, but this one tastes really good. I don't know if most people have tried aloe drinks. They're usually pretty bitter. I was very, very surprised at how tasty this is. And aloe is really great at soothing the gut for healing. So if you have any heartburn, if you have any indigestion, if you have leaky gut, this is something I would add 2 or 3 times a day initially, and you can taper off from there. The other thing that I might add is just some extra greens. Now, there are greens in the Power Shake, but the green spectrum, this one's lemon flavored and it is sweetened, but it's just mildly sweetened. And then there's a unsweetened green spectrum, which is just plain, not lemon flavored, which is really good too. And that extra green, dense nutrition is really necessary when you are trying to heal your gut. So those are just a couple of things that I would add. And maybe just one more thing, which I didn't grab. It's in the cabinet. But the fulvic and the humic acid. Now there are some fulvic and humic acid in some of the shakes. I know that Epigenius has it, which is really yummy. It's chocolate flavored.
The biomedic has it too.
The biomedic has it as well. But if you know that you have any extra heavy metals in your system that you need to get rid of, super, super helpful to take maybe a little bit extra of that too. Any other products that you can think of that you might recommend to add to their ultimate lifestyle transformation if the gut is the focus?
I love to drink the beet juice. I can't beat this because I used to be a coffee drinker. Mm-hmm. I used to drink coffee in the morning, in the afternoon. I would have a coffee before going to bed. And I was always chronic fatigue because I was drinking so much coffee. So I started introducing the beet juice, and I actually mix it with my power shake in the morning. And it has red beets that are high in nitric oxide, so it helps our body bring more oxygen to the blood. It has little coffee berry, very little, maca, adaptogen mushrooms, and a little yerba mate, and it just gives me the perfect hint of energy that I need to go to the gym, and it tastes amazing. The combination of the beet juice with this one, it's great.
I usually take it before I train. Yeah, that's my favorite. Yeah, I add some other things to it, but that's the basis. And yeah, I do love that little extra oomph, and getting the nitric oxide going. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to make your own recipes. This morning I woke up and I did the vanilla chai super meal, which is one of my favorite ones. It has all the greens from the green spectrum, and it has fiber, protein, everything. And then I added the beet juice, and I added some frozen blueberries. I added some aminos. I just put it all in the blender, the aminos. And I put some of the dark berry collagen protein as well. And it was delicious. I made one for my husband. He's like, "What did you do?" I'm doing it again tomorrow.
Sounds great. Yeah. All right. I know we had some people pop on and some people pop off. If anybody is left, if you want to, just let me know you're here, because I do have a giveaway for those who attended, but you can just pop into the chat and say hi if you don't want to physically get onto your computer. But what I might do is I'm gonna wrap up the actual recording, and then we can always keep the Zoom on. So I thank you, everybody who has joined us for this Gut Health and Cleanse program. I'm sure you have tons of questions if you are watching this, and hopefully you are ready to jump on and get started with your gut health program, your ultimate lifestyle transformation. So please contact me. Let me help you. I always have Carolina there if you've got any questions I can't answer. We make a great team. And yeah, here's to your gut health. And hopefully I will talk to you soon.
Thank you.